Hola, gringas y gringos. We are
Gringos are us, expats with a plan.
in today's video, something big you've all been waiting for.
It's all about the border crossing, how it went, and what the process is. Coming up next.
Welcome back. Looks like Mark thinks he's still behind the wheel.
Well, everything they've seen of me in Mexico, I've been behind the wheel, so I didn't want them to get lost and forget who we were.
Oh my, oh my.
And what are we going to show most of in this episode? Me driving again. But anyway, this one we're going to talk about how the border crossing went.
I'm not gonna lie, we were a little nervous.
Yeah, we thought we were stressed before we got to the consulate in Kansas City. Got news for you. I couldn't have passed a BB out of my butt. There was no way. Because
TMI, were you making diamonds?
I could have been, because if they'd have pulled us over for inspection, as tightly packed as that vehicle was, we would have been there all day long.
I mean, as some of you have
rain.
said, it seriously was like Tetris or Jenga. He's good at that, and that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
To enter the bridge on the American side.
Yep, and there is a toll for that.
And one of the things we noticed was there was this humongous line, fortunately in the other direction.
Okay, I don't know if you noticed, there was a long line of people coming from Mexico into the United States. You guys picked one of the biggest national holidays in Mexico to come into Mexico. And actually that line is probably about a 3 to 4 hour wait. What it is that Mexico has two major celebrations, their independence from Spain and the revolution. Right now, on November 20th, is the revolution that started in 1810. So they get the whole week off, they get a couple of, so Monday's a vacation. So everybody's heading to McAllen, number one for the Black Friday sales, and number two because they have vacation because of the Mexican Revolution.
The first thing that happened is once you enter the bridge and you enter into the secure zone, we run into the toll that you pay on the American side. It was merely $3.50, payable in either American dollars or in Mexican pesos, as long as you don't hand them a 500 peso bill. Day 3, Gringos, we are now in Mexico. We're about to pull up into the customs area. Pray to God that we do not have to unload everything, because if we do, we will be here for 3 hours. So, wish us luck on that. We'll let you know what it comes out with as soon as we get out on the other side. See you then. Fortunately, having Sirdragonx along with us, he knew the game plan, and he sort of timed it and saw that somebody got the red light, and so he quickly jumped over into that lane, and we followed it, and you're going to see the video on that right now. Flashes red, and we're like, no. And then the green light lights at the end, and we drive through.
But you can see in the video that there is a top light that was basically black. It wasn't lit for us. That would be the red light.
Yes.
And then the bottom light is the green light. If we had gotten the red light, there are bays that you pull into immediately after exiting that section to the left where they will do your customs inspection.
We did see that they pulled a red Ford pickup truck and he was out there in the rain. They were removing tarps from the top and everything else and going all the way through the interior and all of that. And we're going, oh, thank you that that's not us. Pull into the little parking lot there.
Around the corner.
And in the video, you're going to see it. There's a building there that sits off to the left-hand side. In that building is where you have both the immigration office and the TIP, along with the Banjercito is right there as well. All three are conveniently located right there.
We could not obviously take any video inside. It is a government facility, and that's a no-no.
Yes.
So what we did was we went inside with Sirdragonx. Thank goodness he was there, simply because, look, our Spanish is awful, okay, and we know it. And
No, we didn't know how bad it was until later in the rest of that day, between dealing with immigration, dealing with the guy at the tip counter,
yeah,
the lady at the bank at the Banjercito, that was not as bad, and then the 4 times that we had to deal with the federales and the state police, and every checkpoint, and we stumbled horribly.
but he was there.
Yes.
And it's a fortunate thing for us that he was, because the very first thing we had to do was get the 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐀𝐓𝐄 stamp in our visa booklet.
Which Ernie was like, I'm going to make sure that they don't accidentally stamp you with the
Right.
tourist.
Right.
I'm going to make, when we first got up there, as soon as he took it, Ernie was like, 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐃𝐓𝐄, necesitas 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐃𝐃.
Yes, he was
And-
very persistent.
And so we hand this gentleman both of our passports and our FMM forms that we had filled out.
Which, by the way, let's back it up. They had to hand us FMM forms in one line.
Oh, that's right. No, we didn't get the FMMs.
We had to get the FMM forms
we had to
in
get the
one
stamp
line.
first, then the FMMs.
Is that how it went?
Yep.
I'm trying to remember now.
Yep, we gave him both of our passports, and
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's right. And he handed a, well, no.
no,
Because he had to partially complete what we didn't
that was
finish.
the second guy. That was the guy that was next to him, and so we hand this gentleman both of our passports, and Ernie's looking over the glass at him, and he starts looking, and
This guy was making this face, like there's a problem. You know that problem face you get from somebody? It reminded me of, I don't know, the South Dakota DMV.
except we didn't know what the hell this person was saying to us.
Basically, he didn't speak English very well, if at all.
And
we didn't speak well enough Spanish to understand what his issue was with our visa.
We understood body language well enough to know that there was an issue.
There was a problem. So the problem is this man didn't really understand the laws regarding residency and the time frame that we have from the time we are given the visa, how much time we have to go into Mexico to start the final process for the 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐃𝐓𝐄. You have 180 days to do that. From the time you leave the consulate, you have 180 days to enter Mexico
Yes.
to get this started.
Yes.
And this man was pretty persistent in his belief that it was 30 days and it had been too long.
Here's the problem with that logic. We got our visas October the 20th. This was October the 18th. So even under his misguided logic, we were on day 29.
Right. But regardless,
Regardless,
he was insistent.
That we had delayed too long from when we got our visas to when we were presenting them now at the border. And Ernie was, thank God, was like, no, the law is,
180 days.
180 días. And we're just sitting here, and both of us are looking like deer in the headlight going,
We are.
please, 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 Ernie, please, please, convince him. And then all of a sudden the guy smiles.
Like, was he thinking he was being funny? I don't know. He looked very serious to me, so
Nah.
it was enough to make, I don't know, maybe I wanted to squeeze out some diamonds.
I mean, it was...
I don't know. And what are we going to do? I mean, we were 2 days away from our previous abode.
Yes.
Standing at the border.
But when he smiled, he was like, okay, and then he gave us the 2 FMM forms for us to fill out, and then we go to a table. Mm-hmm. And we're filling out, and Ernie's going, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, put this here.
And it was good because we're used to either cruise ship or aircraft, and there's places on that form where you put your craft, the name,
Yes.
and all that. And
Flight numbers, things like that.
We weren't doing that. We're in our car, so it was a little off kilter. And he also indicated that these were newer FMM forms. They had recent changes to them.
And
Yeah.
for you people who are about to do this, I got one hint for you. Write really small
yes.
when it comes to the part where you have to write your Mexican address.
Oh, yes.
Because they don't give you a lot of space. And I just started filling it out, then was halfway through and looked and went, oh shit, we got 3 lines worth of address and I've already used half of the space. So start out writing really small.
Really small.
Really small. So we fill those out,
Right?
take them up there, and this is a different gentleman sitting right next to the other gentleman.
Right.
And of course, we'd only filled out half of the FMM.
Yeah, we had to fill out the bottom part too, which we kind of forgot to do. But he was really nice.
Well, he was really nice because Ernie was standing there going, disculpe, pardon,
Yeah,
Ernie was like, that's on me, I forgot to tell him to fill this out.
And he did it for us. He just filled it out for us. So that was done. Now that's great.
And
So
then,
we got the stamp.
ka-chunk.
Yep.
We get the 2 stamps, one on the FMM, one on the,
Yes, and on the visa, and he was so precise.
Had to be exactly
He was
in the
lining up the stamp exactly with such precision, and then it was boom, yeah.
And that was a very good sound because it was
Absolutely.
like, thank you. So then it was over to
get the tip, and to do that, I had to have copies of something we didn't have a copy of. I'm trying to remember what it was.
no, they needed a copy of it of the visa with the 𝐔𝐃𝐃𝐃𝐃 stamp in it. That was what we didn't have because we couldn't make a copy of it with a stamp on it because they hadn't been stamped in Kansas City. We had the visa stamps, we didn't have the one with the stamp.
Is that what they asked for then?
That's what it was.
I mean, because I had copies of...
We had 4
copies of everything. We had copies of the passport, we had copies of the visa, we had copies of the car registration, we had 4 copies of our Mexican car insurance, which, by the way, they never even asked to see.
Nope.
They didn't ask a thing about whether we had auto insurance. I guess they figure, hey, you get busted and you don't have it, that's on you.
You want to lose your car
Yeah.
and drive in Mexico without insurance?
But we had copies. We had 4 copies of everything. But yes, we did have to pay to have another copy of something made. And I guess it was...
It was, because that was the only thing we couldn't copy was that.
The visa with the 𝐔𝐃𝐃𝐃.
With the 𝐔𝐃𝐃𝐃. And even though we were both on it and we could both drive in Mexico, they only needed 1.
Right.
And since she's a camel and I'm frequently having to go, I was having to go to the baño anyway.
Right.
So it was,
Well,
here,
and the
fill
thing
this out.
is on the registration, my name is actually listed at the very top. So
Well, that's because that's what the mail address was to.
right. And so that we just went with me.
Yeah.
So then after we had copies of everything, then we proceeded over to the line to pay. So now we've had an FMM line and a Visa 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐀𝐓𝐄 line, and we've had the tip line, and now we're going over to pay for the tip.
And she and Ernie get in the line.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the little boy's room.
Now let me just say that while this is all happening, and it did take about a total of 90 minutes, Mrs. Noble is sitting out in their vehicle with their 2 dogs this entire time, waiting on us. So I think she deserves a big thank you for her
Yes.
patience as well.
Yes.
It's very kind of her to put up with this delay and doing this for us. So that was
Yes.
Great.
And you know, we get up to the bank window,
paid
to
with
pay.
a credit card. Paid with a credit card, just like that.
and it was again copies. We need a copy of this, need a copy of that, and we're going through pulling out more copies. You don't need to make a copy. We've got a copy.
Right.
And so we really did. We walked in with a thick envelope with all those copies on it. Then, boom, handed us the tip.
And so you have to keep that in the car. You keep it on you at all times. At any moment, if somebody were to pull you over, they have the right to demand to see that tip.
Which, guess what? Every time you go through a checkpoint
Yeah.
and you got those foreign plates on there, well, hold on, that's not accurate.
We went through 5.
We went through 5, we got pulled over 4. Only one time, and that was because they were already full of dealing with other people.
Pretty much.
And they were a little short-staffed at that checkpoint, and they were all busy with somebody else, and I'm going really slow, waiting for somebody to go.
Right. And
know,
you
and
know,
no.
I have to say, every checkpoint, everybody was great.
Oh, they were as nice as could be.
Everybody was nice. Nobody got weird with us. Nobody threatened
Nope.
to do anything
Nope.
with us. Nobody, I mean,
Well, we had 2 of them that laughed with us.
Right.
One of them, after the very first one, wanted to know what was in the bolsa, the bag on the roof. And Mark, even in his limited Spanish, just froze. He's speaking, and I'm going, you know, and so.
and that led to me using my S Pen on my phone and drawing a horrible version of our vehicle with a bag on the roof and arrows pointing to the bag.
And then
And then
the
writing
words,
what's in them.
Then the words come to me as after we're gone. Oh, ropa y cosa de cocina.
So the next time we get to a checkpoint, I pull out the phone and I show him my picture, and he busted out laughing. The guy.
And they did a quick little look of which, if you guys have seen the video, you know that you could see about 6 inches behind each one of our heads. And that's
Everything, it was packed solid.
and they're going.
You know, it's raining. Yeah, I honestly, I feel like they
Did look at the tip.
They looked at the tip.
Each time,
Yeah.
they looked at the tip, and we at first we were putting it in the glove box, and then every time we get up, Gina have to open the glove box, pull it out. And finally went, this is stupid. We're going to keep pulling this thing out. So we put it in a place that was a little more accessible, and then we just kept handing them the tip. And then the one guy, of course, I've got my cigar going because this is a stressful drive, and he walks up and smiles and goes, Buen. You know, I was like, yes, sir. Si, senor. Es bueno. You know. So.
Oh my.
And then we had one, I guess what you would consider a state trooper, a member of the state police in, I want to say it was 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐀𝐓𝐄 when we were entering there. He spoke almost perfect English.
He really did.
And so, you know,
I felt bad.
Oh, you guys are going where? You know, well, we're eventually going to Querétaro. We're going to 𝐔𝐏𝐃𝐀𝐓𝐄 for the night, stay in the motel. And I said motel, and he sort of looked at me. You know, not hotel, motel. I pull a car in. He goes, yeah, okay. You know,
That's it.
have a good day.
So we will get into a little more detail about the motels in another video. But generally that was basically how it went. We had our tip, we were going outside. Well,
We are Mexican.
we're not really Mexican,
Wow.
but we're here and we have our tip.
We got through inspections, got the tip, got our
Everything was easy. We got the green light, so we didn't have to go through the extra search. That's awesome.
Yes.
We had a little bit of a hiccup initially. We'll explain that in a bit.
But all is good, and it only took about 90 minutes total. So not bad at all.
Nope.
So we're about to hit the road on our way to Monterrey with a stop at the OXXO so that we can pick up a transponder so that we're good on all the toll roads.
We like that.
Yes.
All right. In a bit. Bye.
Bye.
And yeah, it 90 minutes from the time that we paid the toll probably to the time that we were pulling out of the immigration building was about 90 minutes. And then you guys have seen the footage of us going all the way, the rest of the way to Monterrey.
Yep.
And then, day 4, the long drive, and then day 5. So that's what the whole process of crossing the border is. And just to give you a heads up, what we got coming up is we do have one on the no-tell motels, and we're also going to do one on what we learned.
Oh, we've learned a lot
And we learned a lot.
so far.
On the 3-day drive, we learned a lot.
And we've learned a lot since
Yes.
landing here,
Yes.
moving in,
So
getting
those-
money out of the bank.
Yep, those will be the next 2 coming up. Just wanted to thank you guys. If you find any entertainment or information that's been helpful, please like and subscribe.
Ring the bell.
Absolutely.
That way you get notified when we drop a new video. And please do leave us some comments. Share with your friends and family. All of that helps our channel grow. And it's
Yes.
one of the best ways you could support us.
And got to do this just because there is a Black Friday sale going on.
Yep.
Mexico Relocation Guide is not, what is it?
She has a $100 discount.
Oh, what?
Guys, I mean, that's a big
That's like a
discount.
25% or 30% discount,
It's
isn't it?
it's a big
It's
discount.
a big discount. And
So, just in case you haven't realized, we are affiliates with the Complete Mexico Relocation Guide, simply because we purchased it when we were doing this planning.
long before.
And we have been using it. Now, we feel like we got some good information out of it before we moved. But I think the bulk of the information that's going to be most helpful for us is now that we've moved and we're here. I don't believe you're going to find something as updated or as concise anywhere. And yes, it does cost some money, but I think it's money well spent. Complete Mexico Relocation Guide is very good value, and it's hard to beat a $100 discount. So if you don't mind using our link, we do get a small kickback from that, but it doesn't cost you any more money.
Nope.
And we really would not recommend it unless we really used it ourselves and found it to be of value.
And have used it and used it
Yes,
and
we have.
used it.
So
So
take advantage of the sale while you can.
just got to do the plug for this week since it is Black Friday, and that's the whole time to get the big
Yeah.
deals on all the good products.
That's right.
So
Right.
that's
That's
it
it.
for this week. That gives you an idea of what to expect when you cross the border.
Yeah, we didn't get inspected, so we can't tell you what the inspection was like, but we don't believe it would be any worse than it would have been at an airport. It's just that if you have a lot of things, it could be pretty intensive.
Well, you know how bad it is pulling it out of your suitcase and putting it back. Imagine doing that out of a vehicle
Yeah,
and
20
putting it
times
back.
worse.
Yes.
So we were thankful we didn't get hit
Yep.
with that. But otherwise, it literally was just as we said, easy process, easy
and
peasy.
just like dealing with the people at the consulate, be yourself, smile,
Mm-hmm.
and I would recommend having Google Translate on the phone ready to roll, because
Yep.
you're probably going to need it
Yep.
unless you are fluent.
Yep.
So-
And if you think that you might not be able, if you think your cellular signal might be weak, you can download the language that you
Yep.
want. You can download the Spanish part, and it'll be available to you for some of these translations. It's a really good thing. Oh, and Google Lens.
Google Lens is another
Google
good
Lens
thing.
is really
Take
good.
pictures of things and it translates it for
It'll
you.
translate signage for you, menus. It's awesome. Okay,
That's
that's
it.
it. We are so happy that you came along on this journey with us. And it is right now, as we record this, it is Thanksgiving Day. And we couldn't be more thankful than what we are right now to be where we are,
That's a true statement.
doing what we're doing, and having people like you come along with us. So
Yep.
thank you very much to all of you.
And remember, they're still going to be dropping fast and furious because we still got a lot of data
We
and
have-
info
yes.
to share with you.
Yes.
So until the next one, I would say next week, but it's not going to be a full week. So until the next video,
We are Gringos Are Us.
expats with a plan.
Remember, we
We
are
can do
doing
it.
it. You can too. Hasta la próxima vez.
Adios.